the weakest thing you own. When I first built the brain I told you about last episode, I fed it my own projects, proud of some of them, and the AI wrote them up in a way that was fine, professional, completely forgettable. It read like every other contractor's project page. That annoyed me because I knew those jobs were better than that. So I went looking for why, and the answer is what this video is about. Last episode I gave you the whole brain in one picture. 3 layers of knowledge, 5 buckets, retrieval, a learning loop. Today we're on the ground floor, layer 1, project knowledge. And I want to show you why the version of your projects that sits on your website is the weakest version you own. Because I learned that the hard way by accidentally feeding that version into my own system. Here's an example of the level I'd captured. We delivered a full refurbishment of a grade 2 listed property, on time and on budget. Tidy sentence, and a buyer can do absolutely nothing with it. It could describe me, or it could describe the firm that nearly lost the job. It's a claim, and they can't verify a claim. Now here's what a real open brain version of that same job would look like. We successfully delivered the full refurbishment of, then give the project name and some high level details, e.g. location, approximate property value, access, neighbours. It's a grade 2 listed property. Here you should give some outline to the project work, e.g. it's a new first floor bedroom, ensuite and dressing room refurbishment, delivered on time and on budget. The property was occupied the whole time, a live client in residence. Access was through one staircase that we had to protect. The heritage officer changed the requirement halfway through, and we rescheduled and held the programme completion date anyway. There was a structural surprise behind a wall, and there was a particular call made about it. None of that was on the website, and that, the real version, is the only version the AI could write something convincing from. When I'd given it the tidy sentence, it gave me a tidy forgettable paragraph back. Thin in, thin out. What actually goes in? So layer 1, done properly, holds 4 things for a job. The real scope, including what changed during delivery. Not the scope you quoted for, the one you actually delivered. And the gap between them, because the gap is where your judgment shows. The site conditions, occupied, constrained, phased, neighbours, the things that made it hard, said plainly, because hard is what separates a capable firm from a lucky one. And how you managed the team, especially when it was strained, and what was technically complex, and how you approached it, the problem behind the wall, and the call you made. Capture those 4, and you've got something a buyer can act on. Capture a name and a photo, which is what it did first, and you've got something they scroll past. Now I promise you warts and all. So here's the honest limit of layer 1, and it's one I had to sit with. A competitor with decent records can probably match you here. That's not a reason to skip it. In fact, this is required just to stay in the game. Layer 1 is the foundation. Without it, the other 2 have nothing to stand on. But it's the reason layer 1 on its own isn't the moat. Any organised firm can describe a project well. What a competitor can't match is how you price the risk on that job. What you learned from it that changed how you work. That's layers 2 and 3, and that's where we go next. So think of layer 1 as earning the right to be believed in. It's the evidence you did the work, in a form a buyer can read. The trust and the judgment come in the layers above it. But you build up from the ground, and this is the ground. You already have it, you just don't have it captured. Here's the part that took the weight off for me. You're not inventing this. Most of layer 1 already exists. It's in your job records, your site notes, the emails where you sorted the heritage change, the photos with the story behind them. My mistake wasn't the lack of material, it was reaching for the website version instead of the real one. You're not sitting down to write a report, you're capturing what happened while it's fresh. A few lines when a job finishes in a form the brain can use. Small, in the flow. I'll show you that capture habit properly in a later episode. Because getting it small is what makes it survive a busy week. I learned that one the hard way too. So that's layer 1, the real version of your projects, not the website version. The scope, the conditions, the team, what changed. It earns you the right to be believed, and you already have most of it sitting in your records. Pulling it out of those records without it becoming a second job and wiring it so it actually feeds an AI. That's the purpose of building the open brain properly. So it becomes a dependable, reliable retrieval platform of everything held, not just in your brain, but across the company. Then, once you have this, you can review how the various parts of your business can truly benefit from interacting with it. The potential ROI, the operational hour savings, the cost savings you can derive from it. That's the part the AIOS work handles with you. There's a free readiness check on my site if you want to see where you stand first. The link's in the description. Next episode we go up a floor to the layer almost nobody writes down, and the one a buyer is really reading. Commercial knowledge. It's the one that cost me the most to learn, and it's worth the most.